Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here at Halo RV of Coldwater, Michigan with the very popular little 192 RBS Freedom Express. It only weighs 4,360 pounds as we see it here today. It has a maximum weight of 6,000 pounds with cargo, which means if you've got, say, like a tow package mid-size pickup, we're even below potential half-ton country here. Somebody who has like a tow package Tacoma or Ranger, you'd find this a potentially good fit for your vehicle. You don't necessarily need to go swapping your daily driving bigger tow package SUV out, for instance. And it brings with it a lot of big camper features into a small package. It's what I call 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound sack, which isn't exactly how my grandfather taught me that phrase goes, but that seems a little more work-appropriate way to share it. What I love about this, it sounds so stupid, it's small but big. So it's a short floor plan, it's lightweight, but it's carpetless, it's extra tall, it has a true queen bed in a small camper, it has a nice tall shower for somebody like me, and surprising storage. This thing has some really big storage capacity, especially when you factor in that amazing new vaulted easy lift bed system Freedom Express put into these. This floor plan always kind of like, the storage under the bed used to always irk me a little bit, and they have just nailed it. It's like every little concern or point of consideration I've had over the years, they've always addressed on this one. And I mean, if I'm going out of my way to find something to complain about on this one, it's a little limited on door side windows. There's no shade in the main entry door. Other than that, tell me I'm wrong. I have a hard time finding any reasons to criticize this camper. Maybe it lacks a little bit of bedroom privacy, but it's a small little solo or couples camper. It doesn't have to just be a couples camper. That's what's cool about this one. When I first heard Coachmen was going to a darker overall wood tone, this is a floor plan that actually I got real nervous about, because it's so popular over the years. I didn't want anything to hurt it. But I tell you, I've been a big fan of what they've done here. It definitely has some darker tones to it, but everything else is so light, like this carpetless, ventless flooring, that slide accent fascia, the countertops, the walls. I don't know. It doesn't feel dark and dismal in here to me. Now, the camera will get a little funky sometimes when we're pointing directly at a window, like that giant windshield up front here. But, you know, that's just kind of one of those things that goes with the territory. Now, I mentioned, this is a 60 by 80 true queen bed, by the way, but what they've done under here, I think, has totally transformed this floor plan. Because this vaulted bed system that they came up with here, these dressers, basically, they can double as benches. So, in a floor plan like this, like if you're stuck inside on a rainy day and it's just too much, you don't want to put out the awning, and you're really feeling a little cabin fever, claustrophobic, the walls are closing in on you, brother. Well, flip the bed up out of the way, gain some extra seating space, get a little bit of distance between you, which my wife would certainly appreciate, because I tend to be a little bit smothering. I bet you can't imagine that, how I'm over the top on things. Hard to believe, I know. But this right here, like, you could set up a little table, and actually the RV hold on, why am I talking about it? Hold on. I'm over here saying hold on like it's going to take me 10 minutes on camera to go get stuff. As far as you know, it took that long. But what I was saying is, this RV comes with a portable table, plus it comes with a picnic table for the exterior that if you wanted to, you could also bring inside. You could have, like, this can be a dinette. This is like a Murphy dinette that almost doesn't exist in the RV industry. I remember Rockwood tried one once in this floor plan, the 2109S, and it was miserably unpopular. But it wasn't done like this. I don't think they built this with the idea of it being a Murphy dinette. But what other small trailer gives you the option of having a sofa or dinofa that we'll look at in just a minute, while also giving us, in a sense, like an extra bench booth, a place to maybe do a puzzle or do some work? You could get this out of the way. You could have a laundry basket over there. You could fold some laundry, have it organized here before you need to put it away. How would you use this? Like, it never really occurred to me before to actually just bring the table over here. But sitting here, to me, it's like it totally transforms the floor plan for me. And I mean, what else could you do with that? Its functions could be so multifaceted and so varied. Now, what's kind of cool about this, you kind of, like I said, it's almost like a Murphy bed dinette, the way that they've done it. but you still maintain all the benefits of a 60 by 80 walk-around true queen with those extra big dresser drawers down there. What's also really cool about those is they have little pass-through pockets down below them. So if you got little shoes and stuff, slippers on both sides of the bed, you got a perfect place for that. And I'm telling you, that would make the perfect little pet palace. Frankly, when I was younger, I'd have crawled in there and played with my Legos all day. I like little caves. That's just me. It's hard to see, by the way. Both sides of the bed have household and USB outlets. Now, for entertainment, I'm going to be totally fair about this. It can be executed better, but what it needs to be better is not a big deal. So, like, obviously, the TV's up high. That it's just going to be that way. And the TV can pivot, but it pivots toward the bed. It's a single angle swing arm. And personally, I feel like it really needs to be facing over here toward the sofa. But I don't know. That's just me. But real quick, just to demonstrate, like I said, that TV can pivot really nicely toward the bed. I don't know. I feel like most of the time I would rather have it facing toward the sofa. If that's a deal breaker for you, we can just take a screwdriver and flip the exact same TV mount that's already in this camper. And frankly, you can take that same screwdriver and flip it around and swap it out to a double swing arm mount that'll give you viewing from the bed or the sofa, which is probably what I would do, just because even though I don't tend to watch TV in bed a lot, actually I don't watch TV in the camper a lot, I would prefer to be able to have the choice there. Now, I've not done a good job in the past of showing you that storage below the sink because I am always way too excited for, wait for it, the utensil drawer, as my friend Bruce Buffer would call it. Now, we've never actually met and he doesn't return my emails, but I do consider us close personal friends. Bruce Buffer, the announcer for major MMA events like the UFC, by the way. And the return of the 500-degree rated stone cast sink above the, or actually kind of inside of the utensil drawer, because that's actually kind of what it does there. And a split sink cover this year. That is smart. That's something that I think a lot of people really wanted, really preferred here. Now, this floor plan standard has an 8 cubic foot gas electric two-way refrigerator freezer. What we're looking at is a 10.7 cubic foot DC compression fridge. Active compressor, cools faster, bigger capacity. It's actually deeper. It's not necessarily larger, it's deeper. And that's where the extra storage comes from. Now you see, almost kind of tucked into the corner over there, handy little pantry right by the door. So your fridge, your pantry space, you've got all that right there, readily accessible, whether you're traveling, whether you're just hopping in and out. I kind of like that because if I want to hop inside, grab a bag of chips or just a cold drink, I don't got to go traipsing dirt through the whole camper. And then just a nice, clean, closed up, complete look at the kitchen here without everything blown wide open and in your face. Well, I tell you though, this one maintains some really good countertop prep space, I think, even when the sink and the stove are being utilized. Again, no floor vents means there's not any little spaces for things to fall down in there. And something that isn't, you haven't been probably able to see so far, is that outlet over there. That's the perfect little appliance coffee maker corner. And then above this kitchen viewing window over here. Actually, hold on. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at the door side window coverage on this, because it's not amazing, but it's not terrible. You got the door in the window, in the kitchen, and then over here in the bedroom space, not to mention when I don't have the shade drawn, you've got the, the big giant front windshield, plus any one of these windows that opens basically has a breeze mate with it. I don't know, it's not a door side picture window, but it's not terrible. I think it's enough to get you through, and it's a little camper. Sometimes little things like that just sort of go along with the territory, Now, over here, the decors in these. The sofa is not really going to change. When you change decors in this floor plan, basically, the pillows are the only thing that are changing. And I think a lot of people tend to just swap the pillows out regardless. Little look at the storage there above the sofa. Also, notice how that can turn into like a simulated cinema seat. So I told you we'd come back to talking about that, with my wife a little bit. I'm a snuggler. She prefers the space. She would definitely have that armrest down between us. That is a nice small little guest sleeper. You see, you got that table that you saw before, the Dinofa table, could come over here. And don't forget, The RV also has a totally separate outdoor picnic table. So if you wanted a dinofa and a dinette, you could have some double dining action in this dynamite little ditty. I don't know about that one. Maybe not my best work. And finally, working our way over to the bathroom here. Now, over the years, this used to have a tiny little corner shower with a curtain. It had no big cabinet behind the toilet. Stuff in this bathroom has gotten bigger, but the footprint of the bathroom has not gotten bigger. What that means, it's gotten a little tighter around the toilet, but we've gained a bigger glass enclosed shower. We've gained this whole, like, toiletries, linen cabinet space that didn't used to be here. I think the bathroom space is adequate. I don't know that I'm going to call it fluffy friendly. I don't know. That's just me. Now, again, the sealed edge countertop stuff in here, and with this having this taller 6'9" ceiling, it means if you are a little bit larger than the average bear, sitting here, I'm about 6'2", 6'3", depending on what I'm wearing and how much I'm slouching, I can stand in this shower all day, every day. You're going to have to probably be like 6'4" or bigger for it to really start to even become an issue. And I hope you appreciate little bits like that where we try to show you sometimes the good and the bad. I'll tell you, you can cheat this a little bit if you open that shower door. You can kind of regain a little bit of elbow room. I'm not saying it's totally ideal. And if you decide to change that TV swing arm out, one of the cool things on this camper is that you could make it toilet TV certified. Let's go Browns! Let's go Browns! But you know, the problem with toilet TV is the programming always stinks. And if you're looking for travel access, this gives you total travel accessibility with that slide closed over there. And frankly, it makes me kind of wonder, does the floor plan need a slide out? It's still a nice lightweight. It adds some nice space for sure. But would you consider looking at a copy of a floor plan like this that had no slide? Is that something you think would be out of the question? And I'm not necessarily looking to try to pressure a factory into building something or anything. I'm just kind of curious because I'm looking at this and I don't know that it really needs it. What do you think? Now, before we get too far along out here, one, I think, significant update I want to tell you about on these 22s, because at a glance, the decor is obviously very different, but the floor plan and the equipment doesn't look like it's really changed very much from the 21s. There's a major difference here that you can't see, and that's they're now using double Azdel, like a Rockwood Mini Light or a GeoPro Pro or a Rue. Freedom Express, Coachmen, they've been using Azdel and things like sealed edge countertops longer than any other mainstream manufacturer, of which I'm aware, at least. They were using it before it was cool. They were using it so long ago, we didn't even talk about it because nobody knew what it was. It wasn't considered a positive selling point. It was always a great quality on the camper, just nobody knew what it was. Well, more and more people have done more and more learning, and it's become a more significant factor. And with additional testing, one of the reasons Freedom Express used to only do a half Azdel wall is they were worried about losing strength in the sidewall. They've done more testing, more stress and bending, basically. Like Sir Mix-a-Lot. They started doing side bends and sit-ups, and what they found is it didn't lose that butt. They've maintained the strength. They've added the double Azdel. That helps reduce noise in the RV. It gives you more peace of mind. Azdel is a composite resin material instead of wood in the sidewalls. So the sidewalls don't have a splinter of wood in them. Now, there's still wood used in other places of the RV. Like it has a wood truss walk-on roof that we're about to get up on. But it means that you have even more time than ever before. God forbid something does go wrong. A seal goes sideways that you missed or something like that, or a stick punctures something. You have more time than ever to be able to get that repaired without lasting long-term damage resulting on your RV. That's a very cool update they put on these. Now that right over there is a 252 RBS. It has a private front bedroom. And I've actually felt that that's one of the areas where maybe the windshield is just a little bit more of like eye candy when you look at it. This floor plan though, the 192, since it's an all open space, I think this is one of the best floor plans for that big front windshield because it opens the camper up. Remember I said It's little, but it's big. It's 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound sack. That's what I'm getting at on one of these things. That 3/4 nose cap maintains the lower diamond plate, which is something I actually really like about it. A couple cool things over here. I want to point this out because I think this, when I stumbled into this, it kind of really blew me away. I thought it was an awesome feature. Right below Pete, the Coachman dog, by the way, get a little bit of trivia for you. It's a magnet holdback on the baggage door like it has been, right? No, it's a magnetic locking baggage door. It's actually really cool. The magnet will pull the latch down, which makes it so that, like, on a windy day, or if you bump it, it doesn't fall and bash you in the head, which I think is awful kind of nice. Large front pass-through in this thing. And if we look over here, you see it has a full light across the front, storage for that outdoor picnic table we're about to see, and that little sticker over there is the prep point for the solar controller. If you add solar to this or get the Coachmen factory solar package, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the roof. That's where the charge controller would be located. I kind of, personally, what do you think about this? I prefer that charge controller inside versus outside, but I don't know that it's really stopping me from camping. Anyway, years past, I used to use those free-floating Coleman camp grills, which I always kind of liked, but it meant that you did need to lug along the portable propane bottles. You don't have to do that anymore with that included griddle. And right down below here, we have ourselves a propane cooker hooker. Now, I've had a couple different names for that recently, and I think I've kind of decided a little method to my madness. If it's off the side of the RV, I think it's a cooker hooker. But if it's off the back of the RV, it's a propanus, because the gas comes out the backside. Now, it's silly, but you gotta admit, it kind of makes sense, too. Actually, hold on. Here's a good A-B comparison. This RV does not have the wide stance stability axles of a lot of the other Freedom Expresses because it's so short. It would actually introduce a lot of unnecessary tire scrub that this floor plan doesn't need. It's short, it's already not bossing the vehicle around. It doesn't need the wide stance axles. Now you're noticing below that patio awning, I got the picnic table pulled out right here so you can do a little outdoor Parcheesi game. Dude, I have not played Parcheesi. I don't even remember how to play Parcheesi. I just remember I was a savage at that game when I was younger, and I don't even remember how it's played anymore. Wow, that's funny. Freedom Express has continued to offer a couple things many brands have been phasing out. First of all, a roof ladder, so you can get up to that walkable roof. Rated for a nice snow load, by the way, if you're a Midwestern Canadian client, something like that. Some of our northern, type folks. Also, a full bumper. Handy place to keep your sewer hose. It's also, if you feel like it, understanding that the bean counters, the muckety mucks who designate the warranty stuff say, no, don't do that, even though they do it themselves all the time with spare tires. They're going to tell you don't put anything on the back of this. But notice there's no spare tire on the back. That's because it's mounted under the tongue, under the battery tray. It is done so intentionally by Coachmen, so that if you feel like adding something like a bike rack back here, it's wide open and you're not fighting for space. Now, obviously, according to the terms of the warranty, they don't want you doing that. But, you know what? 2-3 years from now and there's no warranty in play, maybe that doesn't matter to you. I don't know. Maybe you don't care. You're like, I don't care. I'm going to put a bike on it regardless. You could always do a tongue mount bike rack too. And I talk about this stuff all the time. The smart location of hookups. Your black flush, your outside shower, your TV, your electrical, all that stuff in like the best position possible on this little camper where it's most accessible for park hookups. Up front here, just kind of weaving our way around, I want to kind of complete the look. Then I want to point out a couple things like on the baggage doors. The hinges are a fully enclosed like piano style hinge. And what's nice about that is it means that if you're in an area like here around the Midwest in Michigan, where the water freezes and thaws, sometimes multiple times in one day, it will protect that hinge from getting sprung. This has the same kind of holdback latch that we saw on the other side. Any of their flip-up doors, they seem to be doing that consistently, which I'm very happy to see. And a key-like system. So your entry door key, your deadbolt, that baggage door key, all one key, and it's not a common 751 key. Those are starting to become a little less common. The underbelly did not used to be heated. I think about a year ago, they made it so that this floor plan does have a heated enclosed underbelly. And I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. If you look at the belly enclosure itself, it has little thermal pockets on it. That right there is designed to help keep the heat in that underbelly a little better, a little more effectively. Now, Kind of like Manfred Mann and his Earth Band. I'm being blinded by the light over here. But I still wanted to get you up on the roof. You can see, just like I'm doing right now, it's a full walk-on roof. You do have roof prep plugs standard on this. It is roof prepped for solar panels. There is a factory 175 watt solar package. It does have a 30 amp charge controller though. So if you wanted to add more panels, it is expandable. I think you could probably, well, on this floor plan, I think your limitation is not the number of panels you could put on it. It's the physical space on the roof. I think sometimes I'll see people look at something like one of these little trailers over here and be like, oh, it's ridiculous. It needs at least 1,200 watts of solar. Where? There's no room to put 1,200 watts of solar on that little thing, unless you've got cords dangled down and panels everywhere. This is, I bet you could put 2 or 3 panels on the roof of this, not overload the charge controller, if you wanted to do some pretty significant boondocking. Now, if you're gonna do that, another conversation that doesn't get had enough is like, your first battery, it's a common lead acid battery, but we include your first battery for you at no additional charge at Haylett RV. But if you're going to do some serious off-gridding, you're going to want at least a second battery. If not, start looking in the realm of like lithiums and whatnot. They're very spendy, but if that's your intention, man, it's either spend a little extra money or run out of juice sometimes when you're out there. You can overcome the demands of that 12-volt fridge. When it's in eco cruising mode, once it's down to temp, it'll pull 3 or 4 amps. When it jumps into compression mode, it's going to start pulling between 9 to 12. It just depends on the ambient temperature, on 100 different things. But one of the cool things about this floor plan is that the refrigerator is inside the main body of the RV. It's not mounted in a slide out, meaning the refrigerator has basically more, thicker, better insulation around it. So this refrigerator in this RV will tend to run less than one that's mounted in a slide out. We don't talk about that very often, but there's some key little details on this one that can work out for you. So let me know what you think. Tell me the areas where you think they nailed it, where you think they failed it, where they flew high or where they fell short. Leave me that kind of feedback, and I always love hearing from you folks. Rockwood makes a very good floor plan like this if you're seeking something similar, called the 2109S. They have a couple different interiors, one of which is lighter, so if you're looking for a lighter interior or a darker exterior, that Rockwood might be an option for you, but either way, very, very similar floor plans, and they each do like 4 or 5 things the other doesn't, but for the most part, they're both really nailing this floor plan. So if you have any questions, let us know. I leave you links in the video description where you can always check current pricing and availability. And short of that, give our team a call. We're family owned and operated. We don't do hidden dealer fees. We'd love to work with you. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.